It's Cardboard Time, episode number 139, and I'm your host, Arwen Kathke. On today's episode, I have reviews of Blorp and Corvids. And just a reminder, I will be at the Omaha Gaming Convention in Omaha, Nebraska this weekend, July 10th through 12th. I am very much looking forward to it. I'm excited to see everyone there, play some games, get to meet some people, and I am so incredibly excited for this weekend. And this past weekend was actually Cardboard Fest, and if you've been on my socials, you've seen me posting about that. Cardboard Fest is my home convention that lasted 3 days. It runs over the 4th of July weekend usually, and we had a ton of friends come by for food and games. I had 21 total plays spanning 18 games with 18 different people, so that kind of gives you an idea of the amount of gaming and the size of the crowd that we had. It was awesome. And I will say that if you can't get to a major convention, don't let that stop you from organizing a weekend or even a day to just get people together to play games with on your own. Some of the experiences I've had running this small gathering have been the best in my gaming career. We still talk about some of them to this day. And it's always a great thing to make some of those memories on your own. I've been doing this for about 8 years now, I believe. And it's well worth it. Worth the work that goes into it. Even though I possibly got heat stroke one of the days being out cooking, it was very hot. And I was very glad to come inside and rest and play some games with friends to cool off. So yeah, Cardboard Fest was a lot of fun, and we did get a lot of games played. Let's talk about that Shelf of Aspiration, because we haven't talked about it since I got back from Origins. It is at 131. That is up by 4 since the last time that I made the update. 1 incoming games and quite a few purchases, and then quite a few review copies as well. Let's go through the purchases. At Origins, I purchased Corvids, Flamecraft Duels, Vanity Plates, Garden Guests, Container, Challengers, Azure, Mystery Flux, 7 Islands, Sprocket Forge, Green Team wins again, and my wife purchased Fakin, so we're counting that as part of the games. My wife also purchased Wobby Blobby, which we got to play this weekend as well. As far as review copies go, I got Of Popes and Plagues, Timeland, A Toluva Adventure, High Society, Vivo, Carnuta, Ghosts Galore, First Giants, Leylines, Trickerous, and Pilgrim's Curious Adventures. So a lot of things, pretty much all of those coming from Origins, and a lot of great gaming experiences in there. And let's talk about some of them that I've already played. Pilgrim's Curious Adventures, I did talk about on that Origins wrap-up show, my thoughts and my experiences with that. I will be doing a full review of that once I get a few more games under my belt. Corvids, this is a game that I want to talk about today. Devious, I will be covering in an upcoming episode. I finally got my first game of Layers in at Origins, and I'm excited to play more of it very soon. Boop Shuffle I got to play at Origins. Flamecraft Duels, the same thing. And Fakin, my wife actually wound up buying that after the Veshis showed us that game. My wife really liked it, so we wound up picking that up. Blorp, I have been playing a lot of Blorp, and I will be talking about that today. That's dope. We finally got a game of that in. I've had that for a little while now and had a good time with that if you're looking for a fun party game. And speaking of those, Vanity Plates and Green Team wins again. I did like the questions from the original Green Team a little bit better, but Green Team wins again will give you some more of those questions that you may have run out of the originality of the original questions and want some more. That's essentially what you're going to get with this game. Vanity Plates, I've really enjoyed playing. I've played that a few times at this point, and we've played it with some bigger groups, and everybody seems to like it quite a bit. Trickerous, this game has been on my mind as of late. We played quite a few rounds of that. I will be reviewing that on an upcoming episode. I did get to play First Giants at Cardboard Fest, as well as Of Popes and Plagues and Sprocket Forge. Garden Guests wound up being one of the sleeper hits of Cardboard Fest as well. This was a game by Van Ryder that didn't seem to have a lot of coverage. I didn't know about it, and I saw, I believe it was Mo Poplar playing it, the designer of Dark Heist and owner of Ashy Feet. It's a production company, and yeah, it's really quite good. I really had a great time playing a 6-player game of that. Speaking of Dark Heist, I did get a game of that in, and I also got a solo game in before recording this, so I will be doing a review of that soon. And finally, Carnuta. That was one of the last games at Cardboard Fest that I did get in, and really enjoyed it. Really good set collection game where you're trying to get your ingredients as well as your scoring conditions in the same vein as Point Salad, but a little bit different. And I think it's a little bit more gamey than Point Salad would be. So Carnuta is definitely one to check out if you like that style of game where you have a lot of point opportunities and trying to grab ingredients to fulfill those. So, yeah, that was the Shelf of Aspiration update. A lot to talk about there, and a lot of upcoming reviews once I get through everything and really get to play quite a bit of it. So, yeah. Let's get into 2 of the reviews for today, a couple of short reviews. I'm very tired after hosting an event for 3 days and trying to prepare for OGC this weekend. So let's get those to you. The first one being Corvids. This is from 2024, plays from 2 to 5 players, 20 to 30 minutes, designed by Jasper Beatrix. The artist is Meg Lemure, and this is published by DVC Games. Become birds who have gained an interest in small objects for whatever bird-related reason you may have. Flip and move cards using your fingers or the provided beak tweezers to find what you want and cover the cards of your opponents. Reveal the nests of other birds to learn their goals and steal their coveted treasures. On a turn, the player must flip, or peck, a card defined as lifting, flipping, and then setting it down. This can be done with great care or chaotically, flipping, pushing, or otherwise disturbing cards and feather tokens on the playmat. Once done, the player chooses any card to keep that is not covered by another card, taking any feathers it is touching. Most cards will have an ability or combo effects, and as the pile shrinks, players will uncover each other's hidden nests. When you uncover a nest, you are able to steal from that player, and flipping cards will cover up your own nest, making it impossible for others to steal your stuff. As the pile's going to dwindle, stealing, blocking, and chaining actions become critical as you each race to get the most points possible, topped off with bonus points from the type of bird you are secretly playing as. Get in touch with your inner crow brain and peck your way to victory and the shiniest collection of trash. So this game I did pick up at Origins. I originally wanted to grab it at PAX Unplugged, but we were bringing a lot home as it was. So I decided to hold off on this, and then at Origins, I said, you know what? One of the first things I'm going to do is go over to DVC and pick this one up. I love the integration of the crow theming into the game mechanics of this. And really, there's a couple of different fun mechanics with this that are really emphasized here. But you have the picking up of cards with tweezers that you would simulate a beak or pinching with your fingers. The chaos that's assorted with crows just flipping over things and creating a nest. I loved those mechanics. The kind of collecting little baubles and random stuff just works so well. And I think that's what makes this game so much fun for me, is just that integration of the crow theming into everything. Deciding when to keep your nest covered to protect your cards and being very aggressive to try to uncover everyone else's nest, or flipping over the card that you want, is a lot of fun as well, and trying to figure out that puzzle. The dexterity aspect here works very well. If you get too aggressive with trying to flip cards, you can flip cards off the map, which immediately ends your turn. You don't get anything, and I think that's a lot of fun. Getting too aggressive in this game does have consequences, and I really like that. So this is also easy to teach people who know set collection. Even if you don't know set collection, it is pretty easy to pick this one up. This game doesn't introduce anything that's super new, but the mechanics are, again, handled in a way that makes getting your cards and picking them up really fun. From a vision and accessibility standpoint, there is no color coding on the cards. I didn't have any issues with the cards on this one because no color coding. The text is maybe a little bit small to see for some people, but in general, I think it's a pretty decent size for the size of the cards. So for my final thoughts on this, I am very glad that I picked Corvids up. The card picking mechanism really made my heart happy with just how incredibly fun it was. This game doesn't really, again, introduce anything super new with the set collection, but it does work well. There's a lot that comes in the small box that it's loaded in, and I think that one of the things I've started to see is games that are fun don't necessarily have to have anything brand new to really be something that I want to play over and over again with people. And I think especially with the mechanics on this is one that I definitely want to get out with more people and show them. This is absolutely staying on my shelves. I would recommend folks checking out Corvids by DVC Games. And the other game that I want to talk about today is Blorp. This is from 2026. 2 to 6 players, 20 to 30 minutes. Designed and artist is Garth Kaufman. And this is published by Smirk and Dagger Games. Blorp is a tile placement game where players complete to build the biggest blorps of the 3 colors for the best score. Your biggest blorp of each color will be worth 2 points for each tile, and all other blorps of that color are worth 1 point per tile. Grow them further with the use of trumpets, but only completed blorps with no open ends will earn you points at the end of the game. For an extra dash of zany, try the speed rules for Blorp Blitz and race to complete your Blorposphere first. So, thanks to Smirk and Dagger for the review copy on this one. And I have to be honest, I received 3 copies of Smirk and Dagger Games. The first one was Boop Shuffle, the second one was Devious, and the third one was Blorp. And I was actually the least excited out of the 3 for this to receive. I opened this game up, and all the punch boards had these slogans promoting loving Blorp, and it was almost like this subliminal messaging. Maybe it worked, I don't know. But the game really doesn't have anything that you haven't seen. It's tile placement, and looking at the rules, I'm like, oh, okay, it's fine. It's very basic. What makes this different is the design of the shapes that you're putting together and some of the creatures that you can make as you're putting together these tiles. You will go into that gamer mode of, I need to build the biggest blorp and try to complete these sections. So I'm going to take the tile that I need. But the creatures that come out of these things are just hilarious and fun. And I have to say, every single time that we have played this game, we've laughed the entire time. The first time we played it, we put on the soundtrack. I usually do that now when I'm playing it, but it has just I think it's Blorpy Beats or something like that. And we just laughed because of the shapes that are going on. Play again is it works. It's fine. I have a fun time playing it. It doesn't overstay its welcome because it's so short. But I found that a lot of people really enjoy this because it's so simple to teach and you're just making these creatures that are just hysterical to look at. Again, this is very easy to teach. You take the tiles, you use them as reference. Basically, I taught you most of the game in the intro itself. There's a couple of other things like spores that come out that if you surround, you're going to get extra points for that. Confetti allows these trumpets to communicate through angles. So I really enjoyed this because it's so easy to get out to the table and share with others. And that's one thing that I'm really trying to focus on this year is sharing more games with others and trying to spread the love of board gaming. From a vision and accessibility standpoint, however, I did have some issues with the accessibility on this. There is the use of red and green coding, and there is some double coding with some of the features that are used on the creatures in general, but I did have some issues, especially when there were multiple colors on the tile. And I think that this could be addressed by adding some secondary marking on either the green or red sections. This is something that I might do to my copy just to distinguish the different pieces and make sure that it's accessible for anybody that's at my table. But once you start getting a blorp put together, you're using the tiles, you can take them, you can put them next to your pieces and see what the color is in general and if it fits the shape. I think the double coating works fairly well, but it's not complete. It's not something that you can depend on necessarily. So that is one thing that I did want to mention that did detract from the experience a little bit. So for my final thoughts on this, for most people, Blorp is nothing that you haven't seen before mechanically. Again, that's what I had said in the review. But that said, with the artwork and what you're able to construct, I would really highly recommend it for folks to check out. It's really served as a great reminder that games don't necessarily have to do new things to be a lot of fun to play and share with people. And again, just note for folks that have color vision impairments, you do probably want to try this one before you buy it just to see if you have issues as well with it. This one's absolutely sticking around in my collection. I'm bringing it out to OGC with me, and I definitely want to play some more of this. I think I've played 6 games of it so far at this point, or maybe it just feels like I've played 6 games. It's been quite a few, and I've really enjoyed it. Speed Blorp will probably happen. Blorp Blitz will happen at OGC. I'm looking forward to trying that out as well. So yeah, that was Blorp by Smirk and Dagger, a very big surprise for me. And again, like I said, a shorter episode. Sorry if I'm a little bit off as far as my thoughts here, but I did want to get a podcast up before I went out to OGC this weekend, and I'm very tired from running a convention for 3 days and cooking, and the heat again was ridiculous. If you want to know more about Cardboard Time, you can always go to the website at cardboardtime.com. The Instagram is at cardboard_time. The Blue Sky is at Cardboard Time. And you can go to the Discord on the Tabletop Express server. You can email me at cardboardtime@gmail.com or go to the website for an invite to that. Always a lovely time with great folks over there. For the LGBTQ plus community, things are tough right now, but the world is absolutely better with you in it. We will get through this together. And as always, thanks again for listening, and we'll see you around the table in 2 weeks for another episode of Cardboard Time.